You're looking at the 2025 Cadillac Escalade. And everything you think you know about a giant, luxury SUV is about to be flipped on its head. Because while its massive presence and power are a given, what's truly shocking is what happens when you take this beast and drop it into the heart of a crowded, chaotic city. It's not just surviving the urban jungle, it's dominating it. So, how did Cadillac engineer a vehicle this size to feel so surprisingly agile, so incredibly connected, and so utterly in its element where space is the ultimate luxury? The answer lies in one secret weapon we never saw coming. So what exactly are we dealing with here? This is the refreshed 2025 Cadillac Escalade, the latest iteration of America's most iconic full-size luxury SUV. For decades, the Escalade has been the undisputed symbol of arrival, a vehicle built not just for comfort, but for making a statement. It's designed for a very specific person, the successful individual or family who demands space, power, and prestige without compromise. But the luxury SUV arena is more competitive than ever. With rivals from Germany and Japan constantly upping their game, Cadillac couldn't just rest on its laurels. The 2025 model isn't a simple facelift. It's a strategic move to defend its crown. It's packed with new tech, a refined interior, and crucially, engineering updates aimed directly at making this monumental vehicle more livable every day. In this review, we're going beyond the spec sheet to see if the 2025 Escalade truly lives up to its legacy. We're going to dive deep into what it's actually like to live with, from the stunning new screen technology to the real-world fuel economy of that mighty V8. We'll uncover if it has what it takes to not only meet its legendary reputation, but to exceed it in a modern world. Alright, let's get into the meat of it. The 2025 Escalade is an absolute unit, and its presence is the first thing you notice. They've sharpened the lighting signature, with those slim vertical headlights and a more pronounced grille that just screams authority. But the real magic happens when you step inside. You are immediately greeted by the crown jewel, a single, massive, curved OLED screen that stretches across almost the entire dashboard. It's not just one screen pretending to be three, it's a seamless, breathtaking display that makes every other interior feel instantly dated. The graphics are pin-sharp, the response is instant, and it integrates both the digital gauge cluster and the infotainment into one gorgeous piece of glass. But it's not all about screens. The materials are what you'd expect in a six-figure American luxury liner: soft semi-aniline leather, real wood trim, and metal accents everywhere you look. And the space? The third row is actually usable for adults, and with all seats up, you still have a decent trunk. Fold everything down, and you've got a moving van. Now, let's talk about what moves this 2.5-ton behemoth. Under the hood, you'll find the familiar 6.2-liter V8, and it's as gloriously muscular as ever. The sound is a deep, muted rumble that promises, and delivers, effortless power for merging and passing. But here's the thing everyone wants to know. In a world of $5 a gallon gas, what's the damage? We'll get to the shocking real-world MPG in just a moment. Where the 2025 model takes a huge leap forward is with its optional air suspension and magnetic ride control. This is the secret sauce I hinted at earlier. Driving this thing through tight city streets or a winding canyon road is an experience that defies physics. It stays incredibly flat, and the body roll is minimal. It doesn't feel like a massive truck, it feels athletic. And we haven't even gotten to the Super Cruise yet. Cadillac's hands-free driver assistance system is now available on over 400,000 miles of mapped highways in the US. Imagine hitting the interstate, taking your hands off the wheel, and letting the car do the work. It's a genuine game-changer for long trips. But it's not all perfect. For all its tech, some of the climate controls are still buried in a sub-menu, which is frustrating when you just want to adjust the fan. And while the ride is sublime, you absolutely feel the size when trying to squeeze into a cramped parking garage. So, we have a stunning interior, monstrous power, and surprisingly agile handling. But all of this leads to the million-dollar question, or more accurately, the $100,000 question. How much does all this glory actually cost? And when you stack it all up, does it truly justify the price? The answer, coming up next, might just surprise you. Alright, we've talked about the specs and the screens. But this is where the rubber meets the road, literally. The true climax for any vehicle like this isn't on a spec sheet. It's in the real-world driving experience. And after putting hundreds of miles on this 2025 Escalade, through city gridlock, sweeping highways, and even some surprisingly tight backroads, we've reached the turning point. The moment of truth comes when you ask this luxury tank to do something it seemingly wasn't built for: agility. You throw it into a sharp on-ramp, expecting the body to lean and the tires to protest, and it just doesn't. The magnetic ride control reads the road 1,000 times a second, and the rear wheel steering, which turns the back wheels up to 3.5 degrees, works its magic. The big, lumbering SUV simply isn't. It carves. It feels planted, confident, and shockingly nimble for something of this scale. It's a genuine, holy cow, moment that redefines what you thought was possible. But just as you're falling in love with its athleticism, you hit a stretch of stop-and-go traffic, and reality delivers its counterpunch. The fuel economy gauge tells a brutal story. That magnificent 6.2L V8, while intoxicatingly powerful, is thirsty. We're talking a real-world average of around 15 miles per gallon. In an era of electric vehicles and hybrids, that number hits hard. So here we are, at the peak of the experience. You have this incredible, almost paradoxical machine that delivers a driving experience far beyond its size, yet carries a running cost that feels anchored in a different time. This is the core conflict of the 2025 Escalade. It has ascended to new heights of drivability and tech, but is that enough to overshadow its one massive, gas-guzzling weakness? The final judgment, and who should actually spend their money on this, all comes down to the next, and most important, question. So, after all that, what's the final verdict on the 2025 Cadillac Escalade? Here it is. The Escalade is no longer just the king of bling. It's now a genuine technological titan and a surprisingly capable driver's SUV. It earns a solid recommendation, but with one massive, glaring caveat. Buy this if you need uncompromising space for 7, you demand the absolute latest in-vehicle screen technology, and you value a commanding presence and surprisingly agile handling above all else. The premium luxury trim is the sweet spot, offering most of the high-end features without diving into the six-figure abyss of the Platinum. Think twice if your daily commute is a gas budget nightmare, or if you're looking for the plush, whisper-quiet ride of its European rivals. The Escalade is refined, but it's still a truck at its heart, and that V8 thirst is a very real cost of admission. In the current U.S. market, the Escalade stands as a powerful statement. It proves that American luxury can go toe-to-toe with anyone on tech and design. But it also highlights the industry's great dilemma: how long can we celebrate these magnificent, gas-guzzling beasts before the electric revolution truly takes over? The 2025 Escalade is a peak, a masterpiece of a fading era. It's the best it has ever been, but it makes you wonder, what comes next? If you had $100,000, would this be your ultimate daily driver, or is its time finally up? Let me know your take in the comments below. If this review helped you navigate the jungle of luxury SUVs, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more no-nonsense car reviews. See you in the next one.